to Jake Jackets. Gear up to fire the cannon and hit the ice with your host, Jay Ashdown and Jake Gehringer.
Hey, we have wins to talk about.
It's about time for that, and I'm actually quite happy about it for a multitude of reasons.
Of course.
I think the episode of this, the title of this should be Off the Rails.
It's funny because I was actually my tentative title, because we're gonna get to Kepi's, and I feel like we might be on a similar page with Kepi's tonight. Because again, we record these later at night, and they go up on Wednesday. And
Yeah,
you guys know how like in season works.
yes.
But I feel like we're gonna be on a similar page, and my title is "The Kids Are All Right."
Haven't we done that one before?
No,
Oh, I thought we have.
no, I looked at all the
It's been
titles
thrown out before. I know that, but the reason I say Off the Rails is because the two main teams we're going to be talking about today are obviously the Columbus Blue Jackets, the team that this podcast is centered around, and the Vancouver
another
Canucks,
one of our favorites.
the other team that this podcast for some reason is centered around.
it's the Canucks, the Coyotes,
And the Blue Jackets.
and
And hilariously, who are the Columbus Blue Jackets playing tonight?
the Arizona Coyotes.
Life comes at you fast.
Life does come at you fast. Okay, Kepi's. I gave the first Kepi of the season, so you are leading off today.
Yes, and I will be going with Nick Blankenberg. Let's fucking go. I love this kid.
I do love this kid.
Incredible.
Now, let's just say right now, thank God he's only day to day.
Yes, I could have cried. Miss you, Blanken.
Blanks
Seriously,
is
0-3. You start the season 0-3. You make one move. You insert Blankenberg into the lineup. Suddenly you win 2 straight. And then you win on you win 3 or 4.
And I mean, we'll talk about that, when we start like delving into the games, because it's really weird. But like I love and I hate that decision.
Oh, I love it.
Like
Yes, no, I know what you mean though.
You know what I'm talking about?
You love inserting the player, you disagree with the one they took out.
Exactly.
Yes. I'm on the same page with you on that.
But he's, he scored an overtime winner. He's bringing a lot of energy. He played super well with Zach.
Yeah, he's great. He had the great outlet pass for the breakaway to Johnny Gaudreau against the Canucks.
Yeah,
I think that was against the Canucks. That was Predators. Because he had the outlet pass.
right. Because Johnny's breakaway was his wraparound was the Canucks.
Yeah, that wraparound was just disgusting.
Oh,
absolutely disgusting.
I don't know if Sportsnet dropped hat picks yet tonight, but I suggested that to producer Nick, and he put it in there. Like, he tweeted at me that he's putting it in there.
Good. I mean, it was a disgusting goal. So yeah, he has an assist to get the rally started in the third period.
I noticed that you're wearing the exact same outfit from the last episode.
Yeah, someone did laundry. Yeah, he's outstanding. He gets the game winner with just a little over a minute left in regulation against Nashville, and
I love that kid's smile.
Yeah, it was a brilliant play too, because he's backing off at the blue line after he dumps the puck across. It goes cross ice, Vortex holding onto it, and he just sees the blind spot, and he just darts right down the right side. Perfect in strike. Great pass by Jake.
Back in the net. I'm sorry. And I don't want to do this like we did the last time. I'm going to try to ignore the game as much as we can, but we are losing.
Yeah, I believe it.
I believe it too. And of course, it was the ghost.
That's fantasy points for me.
Good for you, I guess. But like Blanks is a great pick. Mine, I'm kind of torn because, like I said, my title for the show, the kids are all right, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Kent Johnson scored his first National Hockey League goal against the Penguins, his second one the very next night against the Rangers.
Yeah.
Liam Foudy, first game of the year, gets a couple of helpers.
Yeah.
It's about time this kid got in the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to go with Daniil Tarasov, though, with his first NHL win. We've been looking for this since last year.
Yeah. And an emotional one, too, just in terms of the kind of history around it, right?
Just the way that they played in front of him last year was hot garbage.
Hot garbage. And it's same to start the season. Granted, he faced Carolina and Tampa, but
Yeah.
the Rangers are no slouch either, but they showed up for that game.
That was probably their best defensive game of the year.
Right, you had to make the argument simply because they allowed the least amount of goals, but I don't know. Did they perform better defensively, or did they just get saves?
Can I say yes?
Yeah.
Is that a valid answer?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a good question worth asking. This was a weird game because they dropped 5 on the Rangers, but their expected goals for that game was 1.77.
And I mean, the only goal they allowed was to the Old Flame, which is fine.
Off a brutal turnover by Gus Nyquist.
It's fine.
It's whatever. All things considered, but
it is what it is. And Brad's on a tear. He learns
his lesson of not throwing the puck up the middle of the ice.
Anyway, yeah. So mine's going to Daniil Tarasov, first career win. Kid deserved it. And let's go into this. So recapping the games just as a whole, this stretch.
Yes.
Finally, we get some wins.
Yes, and the first one comes against the Canucks.
And we'll talk about the Canucks later.
Yes.
We'll go more in depth on the Canucks later. But oh my god.
Was that game not the epitome of the Canucks season this year, as well as the Columbus Blue Jackets since the start of last year?
Well, think about the circumstances surrounding the game at the time, right? 2 extremely desperate teams, both 0-3.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I feel like Columbus just wanted it more.
I'm always hesitant to say a team wants it more because it feels so cliche. But at the same sense, like, there's a factor of community with the Columbus Blue Jackets that Vancouver so desperately does not have right now and absolutely needs. That is not a team that's playing together.
This team is absolutely tight knit, and we'll
the Blue Jackets had that advantage over them, and I think it showed at different times in the game.
Well, Danny scoring his goal, falling down.
Yeah,
just the sheer effort that Danforth put into that goal.
Great hand-eye coordination.
That was another. Actually, it's funny because I submitted 2 possibilities for hat picks this week, and that was the other one.
Yeah, and I think that should be included too. So you get that, you get a good look. Zach Werenski buries it 2-2. So you're down 2-0. You get 2 goals. You're battling back, and
Bo Horvat did his thing.
Bo Horvat, like 42 seconds after we tied the game, scores, and that should be almost a little bit of a momentum killer. And it only takes not even 2.5 minutes later, and Johnny ties it.
Is it fair to say that, like, I know we're only like, what, tonight is only like game 8?
Yes.
But is it fair to say that this feels like such old hat to see Johnny do this for us? Like I know it's brand
Yeah,
fucking new, but it feels like it's classic already.
yeah.
You know
Like
what I mean?
it's yeah, it's the first of many, but at the same time, even though it's the first of many, it almost feels vintage in a way.
I know.
If that makes
Like
any sense.
God, I'm so excited for getting my jersey for Christmas. And it's just like at this point, because it's just you watch the guy play, and I've been using Instagram to plug the show more. I've been using the story to like, share highlights and stuff, give shout outs to our people, that kind of thing. And I can't help but share every single Johnny reel
Mm-hmm.
because the dude is just blowing my mind. But I'm already so used to this.
Yeah. It just and I know they're two different players, but it feels like that void that you felt for a few years of the loss of Panarin
Mm-hmm.
has just totally evaporated. And you don't
Well,
have
because they're both on that echelon of
yeah.
elite player, right?
They're the same tier, I'd say. Right? Is that fair? I mean,
Yeah, they're about like the 1B ish
yeah.
area.
They're elite hockey players, borderline superstars.
Yes.
They're not with the McDavids or Dreisaitl's or Crosby's of the world, but they're really freaking good hockey players.
They're not household names that you would recognize if you never watched a hockey game.
Yeah, yeah, which is hilarious considering one of them is nicknamed Johnny Hockey. But,
Right.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But yeah, it's just I remember the feeling like I remember enjoying for 2 years watching Artemi Panarin play for this team.
Yes, and he was
But
fantastic here.
as fantastic as he was, there was always a little bit of a sense of sadness in the back of my head of we only get so much of it
Because
you
we
knew
knew
he
he
was
was going to leave, and yeah.
Whereas with Johnny, oh my god, we have the rest of this year and then 6 more after this.
Well, you got to remember
it's
too, just
so
like
many
the elation that we felt when he signed is still
Yes.
resonating. Like,
Yes. It resonates when you see him not only just put on the jersey and play on the ice, but see him do things like this goal against the Canucks.
which, by the way, how beautiful does he freaking look in the third jerseys? Oh my
great.
god.
He looks great in all the jerseys.
I want to fucking cry. Just look at it. Like, you know what I mean?
Just,
And the smiles on his face. It's the twinkle in his eyes when he
Yeah.
does anything.
There's so much to enjoy about his game. You enjoy how he shoots the puck. His passing abilities, his vision.
His speed.
Do you know what I've enjoyed the most about his game so far? Just watching, just watching him skate.
I know.
Well,
that's why.
so
Okay,
smooth.
His skating is something that I always come back to, and I mean, we'll get to everybody else in a minute in the other games, but his skating's always something I come back to because the first thing I mentioned when we, were gushing about him after he signed, the prime example of Johnny Gaudreau that I go to is it's not even a goal. It's the end-to-end assist to Monahan against the Kings.
Yeah, yeah.
Like just him cutting through everybody. And then the tiniest little drop pass. And then he spun around. I love the way he like avoided the check and then just went, ooh. That's who Johnny is. He's just electric.
And also just like having followed him for so long in his career, despite playing all the way up in Calgary, and just being so familiar with his game, from his time at Boston College to the National Hockey League and the hype that was around this kid.
Yeah.
Nickname is Johnny Hockey.
It's Johnny Hockey.
Comes into the league. And the cardiac Calgary kids in 2015.
Yeah.
in that moment, him scoring that goal on Freddie Anderson to send the one game against the Ducks to overtime,
The
and
dominance in 2018.
oh my god,
The
and
overtime winner just last year.
yes, and after all of that, that's the freaking guy we got, and he could not be living up to expectations more than he already has so far in these.
And it's not even like he's carrying the team on his back.
No, you got your most dominant win of the season. He didn't get a point in.
And he's riding a 5-gamer.
Like, there's a lot to be happy about with this.
And I mean, like, let's just keep going because Gavrikov, the pass from Cheney to Gavi for the OT winner. Or
you almost want to give Chinikov a Kepi for that too.
Yeah.
He had 2 assists in that game, I think.
He did.
The game-winning assist on that pass to Gavrikov, and then he has a goal against the Rangers. He looks so much better in these first 7-8 games of the season than he did at any point
all of last year.
Because we said it so many times about this kid. He's raw. He's a raw player, and we knew that. So he was always going to be very, very high ceiling, but dangerously low floor.
We know he's got an amazing release on both his wrister and his slap shot.
Yeah, and that goal against the Rangers, good lord, laser.
Let's go to Nashville really quick. This was a fun one. And again, we'll dive into the Canucks in a minute. Like, we'll really dive into the Canucks because, oh my god, these poor guys. They go down 2-0 early. Tanner Jeannot, no surprise. Joey,
which we both called.
No freaking. Well, because I called all 3.
Yeah.
Of our old dudes. Yeah. I called Kiefer because he's a Columbus kid.
Yeah, you said Kiefer, and then I was like, Ryjo's definitely scoring tonight. And
then Joey does score, and then I called Dutchy because, of course.
So Ryjo does score. It's 2-0, and then of all Blue Jackets to get 2-1, Jake Bean at the end of a power play. Not a power play goal, but good release. What I liked about the goal from Bean was it was Werenski.
Ooh, I'm looking at the box.
Yeah.
Beaner from KJ and Chinny. That's a nice young goal right there.
Yeah. What I liked about the goal, though, was the release. One thing that I think some of these defensemen on this team are taking specifically from Zach Werenski, and they're seeing his goal-scoring ability. His goals. How often does Zach Werenski take a fucking slap shot?
He doesn't have to.
He never does.
He doesn't have to.
Does he ever just really step into his shot and try and pick a corner and just blow up? No. He always gets the puck, and if he has space and there's someone in a lane, he just flicks it on net. Because if the goalie can't see the puck, it doesn't matter how fast it's going.
Go through a screen and just let her rip.
Seeing eye shot. And that's the one thing that I think some of these defensemen are taking from Zach Werenski. Like, if you blindfolded me, this wouldn't work because I'd have to still see the goal. If you, I couldn't see, if you took the numbers off the back of the jersey, and I thought it was Zach shooting that puck.
If you took the well, because don't we have the helmets that have the numbers on the front too?
Yeah, just take the numbers off,
Oh man, I do like that was a nice young goal from those guys though.
Yeah.
And then Trennan takes the lead again, and then of course Johnny has to save the day.
Yeah, he had the breakaway as I mentioned earlier. Nick made a great pass to him.
And then Danny. And then the game winner from Lanks. And oh my God, again, I come back to the Selly just because I love that kid's smile.
Yeah.
Like we talked about in Leafs chat and watching the LFR and stuff, like how Sammy says, I like to have some smile.
Zach Cassian just scored.
I saw that.
Pain.
But like, yeah, so like Sammy's phrase is like, have some smile, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Yeah.
I love that. That's how I feel about Blanks.
Yeah.
He's such an infectious
Yeah.
smile on his face.
You can see, even from him as a young hockey player in the National Hockey League, why he was a captain in Michigan, right?
Yes, you can absolutely see
You
it.
just see like the energy he brings. Like there's some captains who like maybe more on the quieter side. Some who are more rah, will yell at you if they need to be motivated.
Yes.
But he's almost a little bit more of a Foligno kind of captain in terms of bringing up a higher mood
Mhm.
and getting the best out of people that way.
And that's another thing that we can draw a comparison with the Canucks is the mood, right?
Yeah.
Like Boone as a captain is a great like soldier captain,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
Like his demeanor is very calm, collected, and can kick your ass if he needs it.
Yes.
Nick was always a very positive but can kick your ass kind of captain.
I remember what Torts said when he first came here. He was like, "It's like I don't think Nick could be a captain." He's like, "I don't think he has it in him." In terms of the having to kick people's ass part. So it's nice to have a young kid who isn't going to be relied on as a leader, but has that ability
Mm-hmm.
and can just bring up the mood with just personality and play an upbeat style of game that I think that this team needs.
And then Danny again, like I said before, blanks, and then Johnny just seals the deal. And let's just mention this now: the Danforth injury is gonna suck.
Yeah, like I said, injuries always provide opportunity. It sucks because he was playing really, really
He's played
well.
so well. And the audition on the top line was awesome.
Yeah, it felt like I've seen so many people who aren't really familiar with this guy's game wonder like, isn't this guy like a bottom six guy? What's he doing up in your top six? Like, what are they experimenting with? I think they're looking at a guy who, they played in the bottom six a lot last year, who just keeps getting better. And even though he's 29, 30, like he's a late bloomer,
Yeah.
So he was playing really well. I'm sad because it's so unfortunate. He deserved better.
Because what's the injury exactly again?
Torn labrum.
Oh. And he got surgery, and it's going to be half a year.
Yeah. That's a rough one. That's a tough one. I'm interested to see how they respond to it.
Well, next man up, like you said, and
next man up's the mentality you got to have. It's interesting that in response to this, that Foodie actually comes out of the lineup tonight
for Olivier, right? And I mean, okay, against a team like Arizona, I can understand putting Olivier in there.
Yes.
To put up against a guy like a Cassian or a Fisher.
Yeah.
If you need it.
Mm-hmm. Nick Ritchie.
A Nick Ritchie. I do think that it's interesting that they wanted to match up that part of the game tonight rather than like putting Foodie in there to, put a little more skill up against that.
Yeah, that would have been my objective. I'm going to give Olivier a little bit of credit here. He's shown me more than I thought he had. Because my mentality has always been like, don't put a guy in the lineup just because he hits or he's tough. He'll fight. Like, you got to have a little bit of skill to your game. There's more skill to his game than I realized, but I still don't think that it was the right call.
I mean, even guys that are like enforcers in this league, quote unquote, anymore, they still have a ton of skill. Like
Ryan Reeves is.
That's what I'm. That was exactly who I was going to bring up. His goal against the Sharks when he was with the Golden Knights.
Rebo can play. Like, if his goal, his objective isn't to fight, you still play the guy.
Yeah.
I think there's a transition to more skill in hockey, and as a result, you've gotten more skilled, grinders and enforcers as a result of it.
So like they know their role, but at the same time they can play a regular shift anymore.
Yeah, because it's if you got a guy who's only out there to fight, like
Is only
back,
going to
like,
skate
you
2
would
minutes.
have back, you're playing with 11 forwards and 6 defensemen at that point.
Right.
Like, what's the point in that?
Bowler could play a regular shift back in the day.
Time to time he could, yeah. I don't know how he would have fared in today with this lineup, but I think that I'm going to give Olivier a little bit of credit because he has impressed me by
Right.
simply just being a little bit better than I thought he was.
Yes. And yet at the same time, I come back to belaboring the point.
Give Foodie his chances. And
Give him his...
it's really weird because this, and this is an organization that, especially in the last few years, really loves to reward their players.
Yeah.
Justin Danforth has a good start to the season. They bump him up to the top line. Yegor Chinnikov has a good preseason. They start him in the top 6.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Blankenberg has a couple really good games. They put him on the top pair with Werenski.
Exactly.
Karasov gets his first win, is really, really good against the Rangers. He starts again. It's crazy to me that Foodie had 2 assists against the Rangers and was very much in the play, and he's out of the lineup tonight. It feels very, very unlike how they operate.
It's a weird decision to me.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a very strange decision to me from Lars. But I mean, I don't know. He's getting the time. He's gonna get more time now.
Yeah,
with Danny out.
And surely there's probably going to be more injuries at some point. You always have to have that next man up mentality. Anything.
I mean, they brought in Bayreuther.
Yeah, to help on D. For extra depth. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see what they do moving forward after this game, win or lose.
The Pittsburgh game, really the only storylines to talk about with that for me. Boone having a Boone style goal.
Yeah.
They lost 6-3. So you got to take the positives with the goals that they did score.
I don't think there's anything wrong with talking about the negatives, though.
Boone scoring a goal that he, it's a classic Boone goal.
Yeah.
Rosie getting in there.
Yeah.
And I mean, that
great finish. The weirdest one was like him skating to the puck and turning around like, is there seriously nobody behind me?
Oh, yeah. I love that read because he was just like, wait a second.
He just turned around. It looked like he took like a full second to look around. Like
he's like,
there's seriously nobody by me.
It's like, all right, I'm just gonna
if you insist.
Right. And that 90s line is fucking clicking.
Yeah, and they kept it together tonight. It's the second line with Roslovic, Voracek, and Ken Johnson. And we talked about this, I think, a little bit preseason, that was something that we wanted to see.
Just like, I wanted to see it just for aesthetic alone.
But I just feel like
But we did talk about like putting your two primary playmakers.
You have an incredible playmaker in Voracek. You have a goal scorer in
Jack Roslovic.
And then you have a guy who get a little bit of both and Ken Johnson. So like it's a line that doesn't play a lot of defense, but they complement each other offensively.
And they complement each other with the jersey numbers.
Yes, exactly.
It's funny because we make comparisons to the Kings because that was their second line during a cup run. That 70s line,
2014. That 70s line, it was Carter, Toffoli, and
Pearson. Yeah, it was what 70, 77, 73.
Yeah.
And now we have 91, 96, and 93 for us. And it's just, like I said, aesthetically, it's fun.
Yeah. It's always fun to have a line like that that's just clicking and has a fun nickname.
Yeah, exactly. And that was KJ's first NHL goal.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful backhander.
Happy for him. Wish it could have came in a win, but he got his first NHL goal in a win the next night.
Right. I mean, like, they let Josh Archibald score, dude.
Did you read Mark Shagg's article?
No, I didn't get the chance to read that. No.
Oh my god, he's the best because it's like
we do need to get Mark on. We still need to get Mark onto the show.
Anytime he like writes an article that's like very negative about the Blue Jackets, they always like immediately come back the next game and just kick ass. And they did that to the Rangers. But it's just because they had the great game against the Rangers doesn't mean that Penguins game goes away. And a lot of people on Twitter were freaking out about it, and we know how this fan base is. It's like every fan base, a lot of overreactions,
especially early.
Yeah, but the one thing I'll say in defense of the people who are overreacting is you blow a 3-1 lead.
Yeah.
To a really, really good hockey team. I don't believe the reactions that we got from these fans is the same if you did it against the Avalanche or the Lightning, or the Bruins. It's the fact that you did it against the Penguins.
It's the fact that you did it against a rivalry.
You did, like, this is the rivalry that these fans care the most about.
Exactly. Like our fan base, yes.
Yeah. So
we have our interdivisional rivalries, but I feel like there are certain ones that are a little more friendly than the others, like us and the Devils.
Yeah,
right?
Dude, the Devils really hate the Blue Jackets. It's more playful.
Yeah,
I don't really think that there's much there.
But because of the history between like Dubinsky and Sid, there's hate.
Yeah.
There is absolute hate in this rivalry.
2 hours away from each other, right? Like
Jeff Carter's now there. Like, come on.
Yeah, like so many storylines, and
the one playoff series that started the whole fifth line movement.
2014, 2017. Lots of really, really good games in the regular season, but not particularly for us in the last 2-3 years.
Right.
They cannot beat these guys. And I said it the last podcast that we had for the regular season last year is, that last game that we had against the Penguins meant absolutely nothing because it didn't change anything for the Penguins in their playoff race.
Didn't mean anything for Columbus.
Didn't change anything for us in our draft status or anything like that. I just wanted a goddamn win because we hadn't won in that freaking building. And
it means something to the fan base, like
it's something to get over,
It's a mental hurdle for us more than it is for the team.
It's a boogeyman, isn't it?
I feel like every fan base has their boogeyman, right?
Yes.
Some are bigger than others.
Have the Penguins. The Capitals had the Penguins forever. Until they finally got over it in 2018, but they had them forever.
The Rangers have the Canes for whatever reason.
Well, yeah,
they go back and forth.
The Golden Knights couldn't get over the Sharks.
Yes, let's har at the Leafs in the first round in general, real quick.
I was saving that for last, and I'm really pissed off that you didn't let me get it.
but I mean, come on.
Yeah, every team has their boogeyman, and the Blue Jackets' boogeyman is they cannot beat the Penguins.
They specifically can't beat the Penguins at PPG.
Yes, but it feels like they haven't beaten them at home in forever either.
Ugh.
So it's like, and I get it. Like the Penguins are a better team than the Blue Jackets, and they have been for years.
On paper, on the ice, yes. It doesn't matter.
But Jake, if you're playing them 4 times a year, can you get one?
Come on. Yeah, exactly. Give us one.
Just give us one at home. That would be nice.
Especially
on the road. Doesn't even have to be on the road. You don't even have to spoil them at home, Mason. Win one at home. Just one.
Win one at home for us, and then win one on the road for your pride.
They just can't do it. And it's unfortunate because that first period was the best hockey they played all year.
Oh, yeah.
Better than any period they had in that Rangers game. The best hockey they played all season long was that first period against the Penguins.
Man, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you other than on to the next one with them. And they better show.
It's hard because, you know, the whole on to the next one mentality, you know, you want to keep it. You can't dwell on the past, but I think we do need to have, at least at some point, an honest conversation about Elvis.
I can't say that right now.
I'm not saying that, like, you got to make a move or anything like that. It's just, we have to be able to look at each other and say, there's a problem here. Right?
I think there's at least just a little bit more mental struggle that he's got going on. That's just me. That's my opinion.
No, understandable, because, you know, granted, comes over, plays great his first year. Small sample size, but plays great. Second year in the league, not as great, but the defense isn't as great, but pretty good.
Corpy got hurt. He got more time.
But also, again, not a super large sample size. Last year was the biggest sample size of them all. It was a
starter workload, more or less.
Starter workload. The results weren't great, but A, bad defense. B,
grief.
Personal trauma.
Grief.
So it's hard to pinpoint. Is it lingering issues with that? Or is it, this is who he is, and we didn't get to see it because his first 2 years in the league were shortened, and it wasn't a big enough sample size for us to get that.
To notice, right.
So that's where I'm struggling. Because,
and I mean,
I think that there is something mental there. Because a lot of goaltending is mental, for sure. And
you got to remember, too, that he's like an actual dad now with Knox. And
there's no doubt about it. Like,
there's a lot more personal stuff surrounding Elvis going into this year than...
Yeah. Incredible guy. Unbelievable human being.
I would love to just meet him and just get...
Does so much for the community.
Would you not want to just grab a beer with the dude? Seriously. Yeah.
But his rebound control might be the worst in the league. And that's where I struggle with. Is it mental, or is it that's just an element of his game that's not clicking right now? Is it as simple as we need to trade him and get him in a new scenario, or do we need to get a new goalie coach? Like what do we need to do to put this guy in the best position? Because I know the defense isn't very good, and we knew that.
There's a lot of, but let's
not all on the, you need a goddamn save every once in a while. A save, if you want to win a game in the NHL, you got to get at least one save you don't deserve from your goalie.
Exactly. So Rangers game, moving on. Again, we know what Zeke can do. Foodie's looked awesome.
Man.
That was his first game, right?
It was first game of the year, and he looked great.
He had a couple of great points. Peak looked really good. I've liked Peak's game.
He looked good. He's looked pretty good defensively all year. And then he gets his first of the year because Yaroslav Halak is he's old.
He's having fun in there.
Wow. Halak's been great for a long time, so I don't want to give him too much shit because he has been in the league forever, but he looks cooked.
Chinny continuing to prove his draft value.
That shot was gorgeous.
Can we talk about the fact that he was such a sleeper pick? and he finally bursts onto the scene this preseason, and he's still doing it right now.
Yeah. It's incredible.
Like, is this not a potential breakout season for Yegor Chinnikov?
I think we're seeing him the year before the breakout. Like this is where I think we're going to see more of these flashes, and we're going to see him put some elements to his game together.
Mm-hmm.
Next season's where I think he can put it together, like all together.
Right.
But I'm still enjoying the bits and pieces we're getting right now.
Your bombs left and right. Let's keep firing them.
Yeah.
And then they allow the goal to Brad, which fine.
You know, yeah.
What can you do there? It's our old friend.
Yeah, you know, there's nothing worse than buttering Brett up and giving him an opportunity to score.
That one was good. I'll give you points for that one.
You know, yeah, nothing worse than a turnover to Brett.
Come on now you're pushing it.
It
Robbie,
was a turnover, was it not?
I could go for a chocolate turnover. That sounds good, but Arby's doesn't do those anymore.
I'm gonna get some chicken nuggets after this.
Robbie getting his first of the year. Johnny's best buddy.
Yeah, good deflection.
Did you see the Instagram story this morning?
Which one?
From the morning skate from the Jackets.
No.
They were warming up and doing stretches and stuff, and they had Johnny and Robbie like just kneeling there together, and I was just like, oh, hometown buddies.
Wonder how pumped Johnny is right now, but the Phillies.
Oh yeah, I wonder.
Yeah, he posted on his story. He's pretty pumped up. Who knows? Maybe he's on the top of his game because he's so pumped about the Phillies.
Yeah, he could be.
We could surely use a goal of this period from him, so we'll see.
And then KJ topping it off, right?
It's similar to
that '90s line just clicking, right?
It's similar to the goal that Blankenberg scored opposite side. You know, Rangers puck watching a little too much, and he just sneaks back door, finding that soft spot, finding that blind area, and being able to get to that area in a great pass.
I like that the 3 stars here are fantastic because the third was Zach. Second was Liam, which really surprised me, honestly.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think he deserved it. And then, obviously Tara had to get the first star with his first win.
Yeah.
And the other conversation I want to have just as we're finishing recaps is obviously he's in the lineup tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But for 3 straight games, Boqvist got healthy scratched. And from what I heard from Svoboda, from a little bit from Portsy, he's kind of in Lars's doghouse right now.
I haven't seen anything about that.
I read something from one of those over the last couple of days.
I thought I read. I might be mistaken. I thought I read from Shag that it wasn't a situation where he's in anybody's doghouse. It's more so just stylistically, like it
might have been Mark too. That it was just because again, I'm
hoping that's not the case because I haven't really seen anything from Boqvist in the first 3 games that would make me think that he was the biggest issue on that defense.
No, because the biggest issue is that third pair.
Yes, which is still together.
I don't know what's going on with Boki. I know he's going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to have to be fine now that Blanks is day-to-day until Blanks can come back and, be hopefully that elite number 2 that he's been.
Yes.
And that's nothing against Boqvist either.
No. Nothing against him at all.
It's just options.
Yeah.
It's just like now we know that we have this option.
Right. And that's a big part of the season is figuring out. It's a lot of trial and error, isn't it?
I think especially since we're so early on, it's
year. It's about figuring out, well, who do we have here now who can help us win games next year and the year after that. So
and now
I'm not going to read too much into that at this point of the season with Boqvist. I think he's going to be fine, but will be interesting to keep an eye on at least.
Mm-hmm. That third pair, though, just you said it yourself. They're good for what? Like at least 2 weird breakdowns per game.
Like 2 disgustingly bad breakdowns a game.
We know Goody's not great. Analytically, he's not great.
Came in to do. He's big. He's physical. He's trying to clear out the front of your net.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to make it not fun to be around the net.
He's just trying to make it a bad time.
It's just Jake Bean doesn't fit with him.
No.
And I don't know why they're so insistent on trying to make that work.
Because where else do you put him?
I'll tell you where you put him. You put him in the press box.
I don't want to see
it. Like, who are your best defensemen? Well, 1 Z.
Obviously.
2 is Gavrikov.
Yes.
Well, you're paying Branson the money, so you're not taking him out of the lineup. You know you're paying.
Yeah. But
so those are your 3 locks. Those 3 guys, if they're healthy, they are playing.
And
okay?
Goody, well, I feel like it's Goody just because of his money.
Yes, because of his money, you are paying him. You are going to play him.
But in terms of skill, okay,
so like
skill-wise, 1 is Z, 2 is Vlad, 3 is
probably Boqvist, I'd say. It's just in terms of talent.
I think in terms of talent, Boqvist is it. In terms of the skill that we've seen recently, I would still say Blanks, maybe Peak.
Blanks. Yeah. So, Peak too. Yeah. So like those are your 4 defensemen there, though. Like if they're healthy, they're in the lineup. Zach Werenski, Vlad Gavrikov, Erica Branson, Andrew Peak. Those are the 4 guys on this defense that if you are healthy, are in the lineup.
You do not take those guys out.
Is Jake Bean better than the likes of Boqvist then? I don't think so. Is he better than Nick Blankenburg?
So far, no.
So are we addressing 7 defensemen now?
Are you? Yeah. Do you go 11-7?
Or do you just put your worst defenseman in the press box?
I do kind of want to see, because they called him up, and obviously they're not going to do this tonight. Next game, I want to see what they do with Gavin in there.
Well, I don't think Gavin's going to play.
Is he just placeholder?
Gavin's placeholder.
But still, like, just for a change.
Here's realistically what you should be doing. You pair Zach Werenski with Andrew Peak.
Because we know that works.
You pair Vlad Gavrikov with Adam Boqvist.
We've seen that kind of work.
And you pair Blankenburg with Goodbranson.
But he's got to come back first.
Yes, when he comes back.
So then are we just stuck with Jake for a few days? Then I guess so.
Yeah, that would be my solution. If Nick Blankenburg's healthy, that's who I'd like to see play with Goodbranson, because he's actually shown that he's good defensively, and
his audition with Zach proved literally everything.
I know he's a right-hand shot, but he can play the left side.
Right, and we've discussed that.
Willing to play the left side. And I think out of all the players available, he's the best fit with Goodbranson.
We're going to have to see, but again, we got to wait until Nick can come back.
Fuck you, Kako. I'm mad at you.
Man. So they're playing Arizona. It's not going well right now. But
not having a good time.
But I mean, we'll see, right?
Yeah.
We'll see how this next, because what do we have next? Because we're not shooting again until next Tuesday again, and we're sorry. We're trying to keep this to a thing,
Yes.
but you keep getting in the way with plans.
Yes.
Okay, so Boston's Friday, in New Jersey Sunday, which I believe you might be going to.
I am going to be at, yeah.
Awesome.
I'll send pics
for once. But then, okay, so then we don't have anything until the Global Series after that.
Yeah. Well,
So,
and the good thing about tonight is, and I don't even think we've mentioned it yet, is Laine's back. So as long as he just gets through these next 2 games, or next 3 games, this one and the next 2 games, we'll see him for the Global Series, which is ideal.
He was only out for 13 days. How wild is that?
Yeah, he's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. And I'm like, it's probably be closer to 6. And he's like, I'm not even going to be out 2.
And his game day, I've seen so many chirps from his friggin' outfit.
Best fit in the league.
The Stinger's got chirps, dude.
I don't know why people are chirping my man.
Did you see that?
Dapper. No, I haven't seen it.
Stinger was like, okay, so we get to wear pajamas to work now? When was somebody gonna tell me this?
Uncalled for.
From the mascot. I love it. People saying he looks like a grandma.
These people need to stop picking on my guy.
I'm just excited to finally see 13 and 29 back together.
Thank God.
Like, just I want the magic. You know?
Feel the magic. We need it.
Please. Oh my God. Please, Johnny pass to Patty and let it rip.
Or throw him a nice little slider. Patrick to Johnny.
Yeah.
Patrick can pass the puck too, people.
Yes, he can. All right, we're gonna switch gears. Oh my God. Vancouver Canucks.
I would like to apologize.
Yes.
To the good people of Vancouver.
I
am so terribly sorry that you got cursed with the Jay Ashdown playoff prediction.
Oh, so this is what it's about. All right.
Every year, there's one that I am just so brutally off about, and so far there's been 2. Like for making the playoffs and for missing. And so far, the one that I am brutally bad on making the playoffs is Vancouver, and the one I'm brutally bad on missing the playoffs is Boston.
Did you say Vancouver on our show, like on air?
Yes.
Oh,
remember,
God.
I picked Vancouver to make the playoffs. I was like,
oh God.
And I said, like, oh, Boston, man, they're finishing 6th in this division. What an idiot.
And they're like, oh yeah, Fountain of Youth, bitches. Anyway.
Oh my God. They're stupid. They're stupid good.
So the Nucks. God, where do I even start? First of all, sorry, not sorry, I guess. Because we were just as desperate at the time.
I'm not sure. This is why I wanted to call it off the rails, though, is because from my perspective going into that game, you saw 2 teams that were 0-3. And with one game, one of those teams got back on track.
Yeah.
And the other's completely off the rails. And I'm looking at Vancouver right now, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, if you don't win that game, that could be us right now.
They have gotten to a point where they have solid individual players, right?
It's not a bad roster. It's not like looking at a roster
and it's like, not like Bruce Boudreau is a bad coach.
No, like I can't remember the last time I looked at a situation and not been able to really pinpoint what it is.
Because the weird thing is for one thing, they just keep coughing up these leads.
And like, if they sucked, well, they wouldn't be getting leads. They wouldn't be getting leads at all.
There's only been one game where they hadn't had a lead.
So they're finding ways to score and take leads. They're also finding hilarious ways to lose games. I can't remember the last time I looked at a team and been like, I don't know what it is. Like, what is the solution here? I don't know.
Thatcher's been awful.
Yeah.
Thatcher's been terrible. He's gotten a little bit better. He's performing better, but there's just no results.
Yeah.
And like, there's one thing after the other with JT Miller.
Bad.
Storyline wise.
Yeah.
Because there was the jersey thing, his jersey comments.
People coming up to him in public and
well, okay. So they confirmed that the pumpkin patch story is fake.
Really?
Yes. That's not a thing. The pumpkin patch thing that I learned about like yesterday isn't a thing.
Who came up with that then?
I have no idea.
Jackass on Twitter then?
Some jackass, yeah.
Okay, good.
Because like if you're gonna harass a player like when he's out in public, that's just stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it's a believable story because people are jackasses. So I'm glad to hear that's not happening because it's very hard enough to be a professional athlete in today's age.
Exactly. Especially when you're getting paid the money that he is.
Yeah, because he just got that big fat extension, and he has been, oh my God, bad.
Where he just stood there. He stood there doing nothing in front of the net during that one winner.
Which one? Which one of like the 19 goals against that he's been on for?
Right, exactly. I can't even remember, but I remember it was at least.
You just said that one goal he was on the ice against. I can't remember which.
Well, because he was right in front of the net.
Yeah.
Everybody else was crashing in there, and he just stood there like 2 feet away from that.
There's been so many goals against for this guy that he's been on the ice for. I can't even visualize it. That's bad.
And he's not even talking like a leader that he's supposed to allegedly be.
I will say, like,
he's saying the right things, but at the same time, it's like it doesn't.
It's not resonating at all. They're just so directionless.
I think
on both on the ice and in terms of vision.
Well, there's injuries now too that are really piling up that are so awful.
Yeah.
Because Brock's been out. Quinn just got announced that he's going to be out for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Brock's out with an injury?
I think they said he's out.
Wow.
I'm shocked. I know.
I don't know.
Quinn's the one that I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Because that one just happened.
Oh my God. That's, of all the players they could lose, that's a brutal one.
Losing Huggy sucks, man.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
I don't even know where to. I don't know where to start, Jay. I'm just as directionless with this segment as this team is with their.
Yes.
Because they're chanting "Fire Bruce" already. They're chanting "Fire Jim."
And that's like the tough thing because like I don't think Bruce is the problem.
No, and I don't think Jim's that much of a problem either.
The only thing is he's not the solution. So like, what do you do with a coach like that who's not the problem, but is only under contract for the rest of the year and isn't the solution?
Well, like, do you think Patrick Alvin has an idea, or at least Jim has an idea? Like, because either one of them could have an idea for a coach they want. The only name that's out there is Trotz, and he doesn't
Well,
want to like.
the
At least the only notable name that's out there is Barry
interesting
Trotz. And
name I am curious about is Rick Tocchet.
oh, there's Tocchet. Isn't there that guy from Sweden?
Oh yeah, I can't remember his name.
There's
the
some
we
Swedish
thought we were
coach.
gonna get. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Because we were like, oh, we'll put this guy with Line.
right,
We'll
exactly.
score like 60 under this guy.
A Sweden to Finn.
Yeah. I
don't know.
I don't even know, man. Like it just
I don't know. And it's like the tough thing about JT too is like again the contract, and you sign that one before you even worry about Bo.
mm-hmm.
That's gonna make it a problem. Because either they U-turn,
Yeah.
right? Either they fucking figure it out and they U-turn and they do something about this, or you pull the plug, you go for the hometown boy and Connor Bedard. And you fire sale. And I think the fire sale would have to start with a guy like Bo Horvat.
It would. If you're doing a fire sale, your untouchables are Pedersen and Hughes.
Well, Hughes is untouchable right now anyway because he's out.
But that's about it.
Maybe Miller just because of that money. Like, I don't know the way his contract's structured, but
it might be the best thing. It might be a blessing in disguise. Because I thought this team could be a playoff team, but I didn't think they were a cup contender, like a legitimate threat to win the Stanley Cup.
They could win a round, maybe two.
Yeah, that was my thought. Like, get to the playoffs. Maybe they pull off a playoff round like they did against St. Louis in the bubble.
Yeah.
They
have very similar pieces to the bubble.
Yeah. So that was kind of my thought process, but I didn't like where does this team go up? If this team makes the playoffs, where do they go up from here? Who's coming in that's going to push them over the top?
Dermott's injured. Mickey's fine. Like Mikheyev is fine.
They sent Hoglander down.
Bruce hasn't even been playing Hoglander for whatever. I feel like it's a hate boner with Niels Hoglander. It's the weirdest thing. Because Bruce just never plays him. And if he does, he's playing like fourth line minutes.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are you doing?
I don't know what you do here. Like, there's no quick fix.
The Dickinson trade hasn't really done much because look at what he's doing in Chicago.
The trade's bad. You traded the assets to get this guy in the first place to be your third, maybe even fourth line center. And, be defensive minded guy, kill penalties.
Jay, quick thing, and again, I don't want to make this a show about keeping track of the game.
God damn it! More fans.
Ghost number 2.
Mm-hmm.
And an assist for Josh Brown.
Yeah.
Like, that's how bad this is getting. Anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do, man. This is such a rudderless ship.
It feels like feels kind of like when we fired Richards, wasn't it? Start off awesome. And
it was what, 07-1, right?
Yeah. And they ended up getting the 3rd overall pick. They get Pierre-Luc Dubois, but they get the coach right. And it was a quicker turnaround than we expected. I don't know if that's the case for the Canucks, but
if the coach is all they need.
But turning things around, that's the thing though. I don't know if this is I don't know if a coach fixes this, because how many coaches out there are available that are better than Bruce Boudreau?
that
Who was
well, because
very successful last year with this group.
like we said, Barry Trotz has decided that he's not coaching this year as a personal decision, right?
Not. We'll see. We'll see. Barry.
Well, yeah, but again,
we'll see.
let me mention this too.
What that means to me is I'm not coaching this year unless the perfect job opens up.
Well, you know what's funny is he did come out and say that an original 6 team would be intriguing.
But let's go through this for a second, okay? Just run this down real quick. It's New York firing their coach.
No.
Is he gonna go to Chicago?
Luke Richardson's first year.
Well,
no.
Let's first year.
Four of the original 6 teams have first-time head coaches.
Boston hired a new coach. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, Montreal's not firing Marty St. Louis.
Not after what happened last year.
Who's the one that we're missing?
I still feel like Kiefer is like, you know what I mean? He's got his seat's getting warm. His seat's getting warm.
Yes. And no disrespect to Sheldon Keefe,
because I love Sheldon Keefe.
But God, I mean, if you had a 100% chance of getting Barry Trotz today, if you fired Sheldon Keefe, would you not do it?
Well, because the problem, and I don't want to turn the, I don't want to make this a Leafs conversation, but like the only thing that's really not clicking right now, the only thing for them that's really not clicking right now is Austin and Mitch for whatever fucking reason.
I think their bottom 6 kind of stinks too.
I mean, their
bottom 6 was supposed to be a lot better, but
they're trying things. They're experimenting with that. That's my excuse with that.
Man, we really losing goddamn 3-0 to the guy.
I mean, if anything is gonna make this season laughable, it's that the first 2 wins for the Coyotes this year are to the Maple Leafs and the Blue Jackets.
Yeah.
After we destroyed them, 8-2 last year in our home opener?
And I think we beat them in Arizona too, if I'm not
mistaken. We did, yes. It wasn't as bad, but...
Yeah. But Toronto never beats Arizona, so...
Especially in Toronto.
The weirdest crypto. Add that to the list
of like weird voodoo.
Forget about the first round. The real boogeyman here is the Arizona Coyotes.
The Arizona Coyotes. Hey, the Kachina kind of looks like one.
Waiting to get that slow bleed on you on a random Tuesday night.
The Kachina kind of looks like one, which, by the way, the Boomer Kachina that 614 made. Oh, yeah. Looks awesome. So the Canucks, where do they go? I don't fucking know. Yeah. Again, they either right the ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
They either got to really U-turn this and right the ship somehow. We don't know how.
I think if your plan is we're sticking with Bruce and we need to right the ship and try to win this year.
Yeah.
You have to make a trade within the next 7 days. And I'm talking a big trade.
Ooh,
I'm not talking about trading Luke Shen.
No, you trade Bo Horvat.
Yeah. Horvat would probably be the best option to trade.
Horvat, maybe Brock.
It's interesting with Brock, though, because if he's injured, I wonder how that affects that.
The value, yeah.
If he isn't hurt or if it's not long term, he should absolutely be in that conversation.
Yes. This is just fun while I'm pulling up the next thing. Like my next bit of notes is, how Camp had that concert at Nationwide the other day? Camp.
Oh
The folk band from the area had that concert at Nationwide the other day.
no, I didn't see that.
I love when local bands like them and 21 Pilots come to Nationwide, by the way. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
They're at the game tonight.
Oh really?
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Okay. So a couple of like league-wide things that I want to talk about, right? First of all, financially, this is kind of interesting
Yeah.
because we talk about how the cap is rising little by little by little. Next summer, it's going to be another million, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
But by either this summer or the next summer, all of the players' escrow money should be paid in full.
Good.
According to, I can't remember exactly where I got this source, something like Money Puck or
Per sources.
per sources. Yes, we'll say that. I can't remember because I was just kind of scrolling Discord and I
You're
saw
just
it.
keeping
Right?
your sources a secret. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. But yeah, like all the debts for the players should be paid off. Like that's essentially what escrow is, right?
Yeah.
Like let's try to explain this. Because personally, I don't know the ins and outs of the financials of the league and
I'm
what
not
exactly
familiar with
escrow
it
is.
either.
And
Because escrow, revenue sharing, it's all very complex, and I've never been good at math, so
neither have I.
I'm not going to try and embarrass myself here, but
We are much better storytellers. I mean,
it's a
look at
good
us.
thing. You know, that's all you need to know. It's positive.
It's money that players basically owe the owners.
Yeah.
As a percentage of their payouts every
Mhm.
year, right?
Yeah.
Something to that extent. And due to things that have happened over the last couple of years, I don't know if anybody's noticed, escrow's kind of gone through the roof.
Living in a panorama.
Living in a panini.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, snug, not very warm panini.
Living in a parallelogram.
But yeah, escrow just kind of shot up, right?
Yeah.
Because of the dead cap and
Mm-hmm. Which will in turn allow the cap to increase at a higher rate than we thought. Right?
essentially what I gather is next year it's going to be another mill. Like this coming summer, it's going to be another mill to 83 ish. And then the summer after that in 23, 24, it could shoot up like 4. Which would be a nice, decent jump for the overall salary cap.
That's an Eric Branson right there.
That is an Eric Branson.
So, I mean, it's big for some of these teams. Well, you know what it does that's interesting is cap getting raised $4 million conveniently for who to be an unrestricted free agent?
Big Poppy.
Yeah.
That kid could make $20 million. I
mean, it's going to be a gross amount.
We talked about 2023's free agent class over the summer. And how like a lot of these guys are moving. Who moves, who stays? Well, obviously a guy like Nathan McKinnon is obviously staying.
I wouldn't be surprised if some teams are hesitant to spend any money in this upcoming free agent class solely because of how gigantic the 2024 class is.
Yeah. I mean, it's headlined by Austin.
Yeah.
Right.
And any team that thinks that they have a shot at him are going to prepare in advance to try and get him.
It's going to be like Buffalo fire sale levels.
Yeah.
Like
teams desperately trying to trade away assets to be able to get that offer in.
Can't wait to see Austin Matthews in a Kachina.
You think he's a coyote?
They can't pay it, but it'd be interesting for a way for them to go home. Oh my God.
4-0.
Dylan Gunther.
All right. Well,
write this one off tonight, I guess. But the other thing. Okay. The other thing I want to talk about is what we teased last week, the league's like diversity report.
mm-hmm.
So I have the notes from the Instagram post up here. Statement from Gary Bettman. The league office and all 32 NHL clubs have united to strengthen diversity and inclusion with new urgency, pursuing a variety of initiatives to make this great game more welcoming, inclusive, accessible, and socially conscious. Which, okay, that's lawyer speak, sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we've seen it happen in spurts, right? With specifically, like, we praised how much the Canucks are doing it.
Yeah.
With hiring Emily Castonguay and Cami Granato and Rachel Dory until they let her go for whatever fucking reason. We still don't know.
Yeah. Still don't know what's going on there, but yeah.
At least on the women's side of things there.
Specifically from them.
At least for the women there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there are people of color that they've been hiring, and then there's like Mike Greer coming in as San Jose's general manager, and like the things are happening that help this on a very, very surface level to a degree.
Yeah.
It's like it's on a surface level, but the growth is happening still.
Yeah. Growth very often isn't, large, especially with the National Hockey League.
Yeah. Well,
baby steps. So
apparently there's a quote 7 dimensions framework at every point where a player, fan, or employee interacts with the game. There's leadership, education, employment, marketing, partnerships, yada yada. So facets of the game on and off the ice.
Yeah.
Basic. Right. And I'm literally like, this Instagram post is the report essentially, right?
Right.
Recruitment efforts. There's a full-time director of recruiting focused on diversity. And individual clubs, like we said, women, people of color, they've already been doing this.
Yeah.
Individual clubs have, at the very least. There's inclusion learning. There's league office. Apparently they go through a 2-day seminar based off of learning about dynamics of race, bias, privilege, and power. And there's resource groups about LGBT, Q+. There's women, young professionals. So at least they're starting to work on putting in initiatives every summer and doing seminars and focusing on the hiring aspects of this, right?
Right.
There's executives, there's broadcasters, youth hockey families. Just basically leading voices is just like more committees that they're opening up now.
Yeah.
And then there's community programs, which have apparently distributed over $135 million to community programs, like around all 32 markets.
Yep.
And then again, it mentions all clubs individually either having launched or are working on launching programs facing people of color, indigenous people, LGBTQ plus, the women's game, and the disabled.
Good.
There's the new fan code of conduct that's going to be enforced at games,
which is necessary.
Unfortunately necessary.
Yes, unfortunately necessary. Yeah, that is the way to describe it.
Because people just be good people. You're there to watch a hockey game. You're like, come on. Right?
Some people are just asses.
And then there's the actual Hockey is for Everyone initiative that they have, that we know to a degree is still PR bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But they are essentially relaunching it, and hopefully they take it more seriously this time.
Right.
At least they're, according to this, it's for the grassroots programs. They have NHL Street now, apparently. So that'll help with like the street hockey side of things.
Yeah. Street hockey's awesome.
Dude, I'm still like, just with my medical, I wish I could play any form of hockey.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Even like ball hockey, I can't even do that.
Balls.
Balls. We need a Manscaped sponsorship at some point. God. Nothing's gonna beat Adam and friggin' Julian's ad reads.
No. Never.
They're working with 23 clubs are working with minority and female-owned businesses. There's diversity and inclusion councils with 27 other clubs. And again, rehashing the same point, everybody is working on LGBTQ. And I mean, I don't mean to sound like a broken record saying this and just trying to slog through it, because it's important.
Right.
It's just reading the post is the blah part of this.
Yeah.
And just getting through what the league is saying.
Yeah.
My question to you about this: we know that the league is now doing this, and I posed this to you at the end of last show. Why couldn't they have just reached out to an organization like the HDA and worked with them? Because they're already established.
Because
they have players.
They need to do it their
excuse
ways.
me.
This is the
I
best.
hope that didn't come through on the mic.
Is this not how they always conduct business? That it has to be done Bettman's way? Working with another organization means that he doesn't get to do it the way he wants.
Right. Oh, and like, just if you go and you look at the post, it looks like a college PowerPoint.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the most basic college PowerPoint that was like made the day before an assignment was due.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly what the Instagram post looks like. And that's why I kind of read it like that.
Yeah.
End of 2, down by 4. But up by 4 in shots. Fun.
Hockey. Just try and win the third period.
Please.
Be able to take something out of this game. Please.
God, please. Patty and Johnny, give us something, please.
Yeah.
KJ, give us anything. I don't care who at this point, as long as it's someone fun.
Mm-hmm.
Watch Sean's gonna score and be the only one to show up.
Yeah. Get a goal from Matthew Olivier.
Yeah, get a goal from that. So yes, the league is now doing its own thing to try to do this. I still don't understand. Like, because they have players in their league and in their union that are working with the HDA
mm-hmm.
and doing it that way. Right?
Yeah.
You have guys literally from all backgrounds supporting the HDA. Like you have Nas, you have Reeves, you have Dumba, you have aren't both Sagan and Lanner.
Yeah. They're both a part of it, I believe.
So you have all of those guys that you could use as examples to help you work with the HDA to do this. And make it simpler.
Yep. Has the NHL ever done it the simple way?
No, why do you think we lost an entire season due to a lockout?
Yep.
Oh man. Gary. Oh, Gary. Anyway, we're gonna end on the. I had the note about Frana, but we don't have time, so we're gonna talk about reverse retros. And no, we're not gonna take an hour like Adam and Jesse and Steve did.
I think ours are fine. I'm not like super jazzed, but I don't hate them.
I have my opinions on this round, right? Last year was the first time they're going to do it, right? Which it's fine for teams to have misses on a first time you do something.
You're not going to hit it every time, you know? But
my qualm with the last time was teams that didn't try.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Detroit.
Toronto.
Which, to be fair to Toronto, there's not much you can do.
I
like
wholly disagree.
Well, like there are things you could do. There are things you can do, but
one of the oldest organizations.
But still, it's like blue and white have been their colors forever. You could have done a St. Pat's thing.
Yeah. There's something they could do. There's something the Red Wings could do.
And the Red Wings, to their credit, actually did something.
Not sure what the fuck it was, but they tried.
Okay, so my favorites, right? The White Pooh Bear is awesome for Boston. Columbus's is growing on me. At first, I was like, okay. But now, like, seeing that it's like, it looks a lot cleaner on a player than it does with just the model.
Yeah.
And I do like the black base. Black base is fun.
I like what they're trying to do. I just think it's hard to pull off.
Well, I feel like a lot more teams understood what reverse retro means this time around.
Yeah.
Right? Like the concept of a reverse retro jersey. Just by name alone. You know what I mean? A lot of teams last year just made a retro jersey.
Yeah.
And then just whatever. But teams actually took a retro jersey that they had and flipped the colors for it, or did something really unique this time.
Well, I think the one that I liked the most was I'll give you the three that I like the most. Okay. The two in our division, the Capitals and Penguins, are awesome.
Robo Penguin being back is friggin' awesome.
Such a great logo.
So good.
So happy that's back. But my favorite of them all is the Sharks with the California Golden Seals.
Doing the seals again.
That's
we
awesome.
knew that was going to be the thing, but they pulled it off so well.
Beautiful.
Oh,
absolutely beautiful. Yeah, they knocked that one out of the park.
The Islanders brought the fishermen back. I kind of love it. Kind of really love it. Chicago and Detroit copying each other's homework is kind of funny.
Yeah.
The Canes throwing back to 3 years ago. Not even. Seattle going a different way. Like we thought they were going to go Metropolitans. They went Ironmen.
Right.
Looks really nice on the players.
Does, yeah.
Looks so good. Minnesota doing the flip flop with last year,
Mm-hmm.
right? Going back to North Stars, but just making it the home colors this time.
Right.
Kind of fun. Meth Cat with the Predators is back.
Yeah.
Love it.
You got to go Meth Cat in that situation.
You gotta go Meth Cat. I like the powder blue with the Canadians. That's kind of pretty.
I don't know. It was tough. Like,
I like it with
I
Florida's.
don't mind them doing a powder blue jersey. There's something off about it. I can't pinpoint it, but I don't know.
I love it with the Panthers with the logo, the secondary logo on the front.
Oh my god, the Panthers is just such a party jersey, is it not?
It's so good. Like
Oh
take
my
that to a
God,
rave.
That's a
Oh.
really good one.
The Oilers bringing the gear back, and that one looks so sharp.
Yes. Yes.
It looks so. I love the orange oil drop in
Mhm.
there.
Yeah.
It looks so cool.
The Canucks one looked good.
Canucks one, the Johnny Canuck is great. Johnny Canuck is awesome. Vegas is really, really cool with the glow in the dark thing.
Yeah. The thing is, I always think it's funny when they do like the Seattle reverse retro. Vegas. We're really throwing it back to the future.
Well, I mean, like with Back to the Future. I like that reference. There you go. Christopher Lloyd just had his birthday.
Oh, really?
Just a few days ago, yeah. But I like what they were able to do with like harkening back to previous franchises that the cities had,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like Vegas could have done like a Wranglers thing, which is kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Seattle going with the Iron Man instead of the Metros, which was interesting. I hope they do a Metros thing.
Right.
At some point. Colorado going the state flag / Rockies route is really kind of fun.
Yeah.
The Storm jersey coming back. Ooh.
Some people didn't like it. I actually did like it.
I like the Storm jersey in white.
Yeah.
Looks a lot better in white, doesn't it?
I kind of liked it in the red though. I didn't have a problem with it. I'm trying to find something.
In the red? What are you talking about?
The Carolina one?
No, Tampa's.
Oh,
The Storm jersey. Like
I thought you were talking like the old like Storm Surge like
no
retro for the one that the Canes did, the red. A lot of people don't like that. I
do like it, but
I do like the Tampa one though because it's such a terrible jersey. It's so bad. It's amazing.
I know, but it's like it looks so much better in white.
Yes, I agree. 100%.
The goat head being a thing again, just as a regular thing with Buffalo now.
Mm-hmm.
I do like it in the blue and gold colors, though. That's really fun.
They gotta bring back the red and
well, they are.
Yeah, I wish that they would have done something different with it though.
The '90s Jets, it's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
The Temu era Jets is freaking amazing. I like what Calgary did with the Germany jersey.
God, like I hate the stripe though. You know what I'm talking about at the bottom. It ruins the jersey for me. Everything outside of that, it's such a good jersey. So off-putting. I can't get behind it.
I like that the Blues went with the unused prototype thing.
The Blues,
that's really unique.
Very, very unique. I give them a lot
because
of credit.
Again, that's a thing that they they thought they were going to use and they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like back when they first came into the league, right? That's really fun.
Yeah.
And then the Coyotes just basically doing a dawn version of what they did last year.
Yeah.
Right? Dawn versus dusk kind of thing. And let me just this is the Falcon in me coming out. I fucking love the burnt orange with the space coyote.
Yes.
I love the burnt orange. It's so beautiful.
I was interested to see what they were going to do with it, and they went in a different direction than I thought they would, but I liked it.
It's so good, and like the brown again.
But we haven't mentioned the best one yet.
The BG coming out of me, like with the brown, with the orange, and just the please. I want one.
You know which one we haven't mentioned that's like objectively the best though?
Huh.
Boston's.
I mentioned Pooh Bear right off the top.
I missed it.
Pooh Bear in
that one,
white.
Yeah, we need to talk about this one in depth. Like
well, let's
so
listen. I'm just gonna I like the Liberty jersey in blue. It's great. There's not much Philly could do.
I actually didn't mind this. I thought like
there's not much they could do, but
simple.
It's nice.
Simple, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. The Kings is great.
Yes.
Kings is awesome. Jersey did a fun one.
Some people didn't like the Jersey one. I liked it.
I like the Jersey one. Colorado's is fun. Sharks again, great. Home run. I'm trying to think who are we missing. Oh, the Ducks. Just kind of that's going to turn into an away jersey at some point.
Man, Ducks.
The Ducks again. That's got to turn into a regular away jersey at some point, right?
Right.
Just like I feel like that's where the branding is going back to those days, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Toronto's is fine. They tried more than they tried the last time.
I will give them that very bare minimum credit.
And then again, Detroit tried
Chicago,
because they went with the 75th anniversary, like a Falcons throwback, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it looks really good with the red and black stripes. Like,
do we talk about Dallas?
No, we didn't talk about Dallas.
Dallas, that's a good one.
It looks very similar to what Columbus did because of just the way, just because of the black base.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I love it.
Yeah.
Because we needed something with the star back.
Yep.
Right.
And I can't remember if you mentioned it or not. I love the simplicity of the Minnesota Wild one.
Yeah, just taking what they did last year and turning it green.
It's
awesome.
Yeah, very clean looking.
So yeah, but yes, you wanted to talk about the Pooh Bear to finish this?
It's one of my favorite logos.
I know, it's so cute.
It's just such a great logo, man. I love it.
Well, the funny thing is, it was a weird era for Boston, right?
Yeah.
Because that was when Jumbo had first come into the league.
Yeah.
And they didn't win a whole lot.
They were not a good team. Very, very dark age in Boston Bruins history.
That wasn't too long before they shipped Ray out, right?
Right.
Because wasn't Ray still on the team for a little while?
He won the cup with the Avs in 2001.
Yes.
So yeah, that would have been around the same time.
Oh, poor Ray Bork having to wear that thing.
Ray.
But here's
getting the honor of wearing that jersey.
Here's the thing, though, right? They nailed it by making it white.
Reverse retros not only give you the opportunity to get a nice little blast from the past, it gives you an opportunity to
correct a mistake.
Yes. Those jerseys are phenomenal. They knocked that out of the park. I like the Sharks the most just because I love the Golden Seals thing, but objectively just best jersey. Pure jersey. It's the Bruins, hands down.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like the idea that the Sharks threw back to the Seals is fantastic because, I mean, they're technically a part of the history. In the weirdest way.
Yeah.
Because it's the whole thing with the Seals and the Sharks is this complicated string of like dissolving and moving and then promises that we're going to do this with Minnesota when we give San Jose a team here and Cleveland's going to merge in with that. And there's history with Oakland there. And it's like this weird amalgamation of things. Right. But with so it's this whole thing, but I do love that it's just Sharks in the Seals font. And it's beautiful. But the Pooh Bear, dark era, Meth Bear doesn't help.
Nope.
I do love the Meth Bear though.
Yeah.
Because what came first?
The chicken.
Do you know? Do you legitimately not know?
I have no
Okay.
idea.
Okay. But so like Jumbo Joe had to wear this. Ray Bork had to wear this. Ugh. But it was in
Guess what?
that weird urine yellow,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what makes it unappealing.
And here we are in 2022, and now Nick Foligno gets to wear it.
But it's in white and it looks so much better.
Yep.
Like just having the yellow is more of an accent color. Makes
Right.
it feel better
Yeah.
for whatever reason. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the shade of gold that they had in the original was just like, oh
Teams didn't know how to mix colors back then.
no.
There were
No.
some like jersey designs that you look back in like the 70s and 80s, and you're just like, there's no way on earth.
Well, there's a reason why the
anybody
original
past
Fisherman
this
only
is-
lasted what, a season?
Yeah.
And now it's like if you told me, if you told a fan who was, an Islanders fan back in like what did the hockey guy say, 2002,
Mm-hmm.
that 20 years from now the Fisherman's going to make a comeback and people are going to love it.
I don't know. I didn't really like it.
Because it's just like people would have said you're crazy.
Yeah. Some people do. It's not my cup of tea. But
I think
Deep
it's
down on that.
interesting. Like, I feel like Lou was really adamant to not do it, and they were like, "No, we're doing this," because the fans wanted it. So he was like,
I
"Okay."
now understand why it was so important for Barry Trotz to leave.
Because he didn't want to coach them wearing this.
If Wayne Lambert wants to coach a team wearing that, then so be it.
Okay. I believe they did release schedules of when teams are going to be wearing these.
Mm-hmm.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of when Columbus's first night is.
Yeah.
But as of right now, we're losing to the Coyotes. Ugh.
Badly.
By the time this is posted, we probably will have lost to the Coyotes. Badly.
Mm-hmm.
We had fun with this. We always do. We still have surprises that are like in the works that I just got a little too lazy on. I've been dealing with my own stuff. I got to make sure we get back on the track for that.
Do your thing.
Um,
Not your fault that I've been busy as shit either.
no, and again, we're skipping another Saturday. I hate doing this when
Yeah.
we've got surprises in the works that actually need us to have this schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Which
We'll get better.
should I just go ahead and like preemptively say this
What?
as like a little easy, like what we're planning on doing?
Sure. I mean, your call. Your call.
Why not? It's the end of the episode. We're shooting the shit. Why not? So we've mentioned our friends. We mentioned our friend Neil Villapiano. We've had him on the show. Devil State of Mind. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You guys know our friends at Subjectively Speaking. Jeremy, Laura, another Jackets pod that's great.
Yeah.
Friends of ours. They are a part of the Hockey Pod Network.
Yeah.
And in order for us to grow, we kind of, we discussed this. I talked about it with them. We figured, why don't we do this?
Yeah.
So I'm in the works with, I still got to get in contact and get all the details worked out with that. And you've all noticed that we've been doing just YouTube for a while now.
Yeah, this will help us get back to having those Spotify or Apple Podcasts for
Yes,
for
we'll be able to go back to audio streaming.
Yeah.
So we're in the works, and JJ Jackets is gonna join the Hockey Pod Network soon.
Yeah, baby, we're on the move.
I just need to get my ass in gear and do that.
Don't
and
worry
get us a contract and stuff.
Don't worry about it. You're doing great.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate
what you do.
I appreciate you do what little it is.
Yes.
But I mean, no, you contribute so much to this show, dude.
Not nearly as much as you, but I appreciate it.
I love you, brother.
Love you too, man.
We will see y'all Tuesday, and hopefully we get back in the win column soon.
Yep, time to celebrate this episode like a
Bye, guys.
Jake Jackets, a podcast for fifth liners and all puckheads around. Follow the guys on Twitter at Snake Garinger, GARRINGER, and at by J Ashdown. And subscribe on YouTube or wherever you listen. March on.